Hi everyone, my name is Justin. I'm one of your astronomers here at the Science Museum of Virginia, and I'm here today to share some of our top space exploration stories of 2021. Now, to me, a lot of the highlights from this year were older stories starting new chapters. Take, for example, the story of our exploration of the planet Venus. 3 new major missions received approval for future launch this year, including 2 from NASA. NASA hasn't approved a dedicated Venus mission since the year 1983, when one of the top movies was The Right Stuff. A Christmas Story began its long march from movie theaters to annual TV marathons, and Star Wars: Return of the Jedi topped the box office. Speaking of Jedi, that's one of the instruments on the Juno mission, and this year, Juno entered its extended mission phase. So it's still studying Jupiter as it has for the last 5 years. We're also going to get more up-close views of Jupiter's large moons. For example, this summer, we got our first up-close view of Ganymede since the Galileo spacecraft flew by in the year 2000. That's the year that the movie Castaway was released. And another spacecraft we've cast away into the solar system is the Parker Solar Probe. And earlier this year, it entered the sun's lower atmosphere for the first time, crossing the Alvine critical surface where the solar wind is released into the solar system. All amazing stories, but they didn't quite rise to the top of my list. Let's take a look at the top 5 stories from the last year. Story number 5. Space tourism. 2021 is the year when space tourism kind of became a thing. For a long time, we've been promised a future when anyone could fly into space, and for a privileged few, this was the year when that started to happen. Virgin Galactic, Blue Origin, and SpaceX all launched missions this year comprised entirely of non-professional astronauts. It's probably going to be a little while until the price comes down and access to space is truly opened up, but I think in the future we'll be able to look back to 2021 and see that this was the year when things really started to change. Story number 4. Asteroid Study and Defense. 2 major space missions launched from Earth this year destined for asteroid targets. In late November, the DART mission, the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, set off towards the near-Earth asteroid Didymos. When it arrives in late September of 2022, DART will impact a moon going around Didymos in hopes of changing its orbit. This should prove whether or not we could deflect an asteroid if it were headed towards the Earth. Also launching this year, Lucy. It's headed out towards the orbit of Jupiter, where it will encounter multiple Trojan asteroids. It is thought that these worlds are sort of like leftover fossils from the formation of the planets, and by studying them up close, we hope to learn more about how our planet came to be. For story number 3, we're going to leave our solar system behind and take a look at planets around other stars. Astronomers have been finding these exoplanets for almost 3 decades now, and as 2021 draws to a close, they've confirmed the existence of almost 5,000. Now, in a list that long, there are going to be many variations, but one thing that all of these worlds have in common is that they orbit stars here in the Milky Way, at least until now. In 2021, astronomers announced observations made using the Chandra X-ray Observatory that appear to show a bright source that dims, remains dark for a few hours, and brightens back up. One possible explanation is this is the first evidence for a planet in orbit around a star in another galaxy. Now, this system might look a little unusual to our eyes. It's likely an X-ray binary, a black hole in orbit around a large star. As material is pulled off the star and begins orbiting around the black hole, it warms up, releasing X-rays. A gas giant planet, a few tens of astronomical units from the star, could block this X-ray light and create the transit that the astronomers observed. Now, there are some reasons to be skeptical. There are other possible explanations, and if we're going to confirm this planet using another transit, we'll have to wait at least 70 years. For story number 2 on the countdown, it's back to the solar system and on to Mars. This story is a continuation both of our half a centuries long exploration of Mars and one of the top stories from 2020. In summer of last year, 3 missions launched towards Mars, and they all arrived safely in February of 2021. The Emirates Mars mission, China's Tianwen-1, and NASA's Perseverance mission are all now well into their exploration of the Red Planet. One of the highlights was definitely witnessing the final landing of Perseverance. Cameras on the rover and the descent stage captured the sky crane maneuver, where Perseverance was lowered onto the surface from a hovering descent stage. In the 10 months since landing, Perseverance has been busy, taking thousands of pictures, collecting rock samples, so we hope to collect using future missions. It has extracted oxygen from the Martian atmosphere. It has shown that the floor of Jezero crater used to be molten rock that was been altered by water multiple times. And, it's also helped us witness the first powered controlled flight on another planet. The Ingenuity helicopter rode to Mars with Perseverance and first took to the skies in April. It's since flown 17 more times and been in the air for about 30 minutes. Also, China's Tianwen-1 mission included the Zhurong rover, which has now landed safely on Mars, and so we can add China to the short list of countries that has successfully landed on the surface of Mars. Finally, at number 1 on this year's countdown, after decades of planning, years of construction and testing, multiple cost overruns, and launch delays, the James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST, launched successfully on December 25th. This was really a great way to end the year, and perhaps my favorite image from the launch, or maybe all of 2021, is this view from the second stage of the rocket that shows the separation of JWST, the last time we'll see this spacecraft up close. Now, the story isn't over. A lot still has to happen. JWST won't arrive at its final orbit about 1 million miles from Earth for another 4 weeks or so. The whole observatory still has to unfold from its launch configuration. The mirror has to get aligned. All of the cameras have to get powered on and calibrated. But if everything continues to go well, in about 6 months, we should have our first science images from JWST. This next-generation space telescope may be capable of looking back to the formation of the first stars and first galaxies in the universe, so hopefully the wait was worth it. And that means that this year's countdown ends, appropriately enough, with a promise of great things to come in 2022. So, I want to thank you for watching this year's Top 5. I hope you get to join us for more great stories in 2022.